Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about something quite important but often overlooked, your cables. Let's dive into the biggest mistakes the bass players and the guitar players make with their cables and how you can avoid them. Mistake number 1, cheap low quality cables. When people buy the bass and the amp as a commercial package, they often get thin and cheap cables. And even when the low quality cables are sold separately, they are cheap, so it's tempting to grab one of them. They work. However, cables are really the lifeline of your signal. They first don't last long, they can break anytime, including the time of your practice or performance. Second, they can cause noise and degrade your tone. They're disposable. I wouldn't recommend you use them. Invest in something more durable and reliable. You'll feel the difference straight away and it will save you a lot of headaches in the long run. Mistake number 2, wrong length. Sometimes people think that if they get a long cable, they can use it in all circumstances, including small practice rooms and great stages. However, it's better to have a long cable in your collection, maybe only one if you suppose you might need it, but use one of a medium length on a regular basis. Longer cables can actually weaken your signal or pick up some unwanted noises, especially when they are not well shielded. Before you buy a long cable, you need to make sure it's of a good quality. Long cables can also get horribly tangled and they are just heavy and uncomfortable to carry if you have to take them with you everywhere, every time. So it's better to choose a comfortable length for the gigs or for your studio. Mistake number 3, improper cable storage. First, don't throw them into your bag like this because they get tangled and you will need to spend time to untangle them when you need to use them and it's quite annoying. Second, don't wrap them too tightly like this or you can damage them. There are 2 common techniques of how to wind them. One is over-over and another one is over-under. I will show you. This is the over-over technique. You just make a loop and one more loop. And you go on until it's all collected like this and you can use the cable ties to wrap it over. Ready. The second technique is called over-under and many people consider this one to be a kind of a more professional one. You make just a loop like in the first case and then the second loop goes like this. You put your hand under the cable, then over the simple loop and you twist it again like this and you tie it with a cable tire and it's ready. Mistake number 4, wrong plug-in your bass. Unsafe plug-in is a very common mistake. When you have a chance to protect the connection, it's always better to do it. When the cable just hangs down from your instrument, you can accidentally step on it and it will disconnect. Don't say that you never step on it. It happens really often, especially when you are playing and moving even a little bit. I would recommend you always put the cable through your strap like this, so that it is protected. Make it a habit so that you don't have to think about it every time, you just do it. Doesn't matter if you lay down with your instrument or your seat or your stand or you run in circles, just do it. And mistake number 5 is wrong plug-in to the amp. The same goes at the another end of the cable, especially if your amp has an input on a front panel. When it is possible, it's always worth it to protect the connection, putting the cable through the amp's handle. Sometimes it is not possible because there is no handle, but in most cases you can do it. If you have a gig and you cannot protect your cable like this, it is better to use some sellotape and attach the cable to the floor. Sound engineers do it all the time. If the cable isn't protected, you or someone else can stumble across it and it will disconnect. It did happen to me and you don't have to have this experience as your own. Now, not about the mistakes, but a couple of pieces of advice. First, get them tidy. I remember when I was a teenager, my sister said that there were 2 the dirtiest things in the world, money and my cables. It's funny, but it's better to keep them tidy. It's a very different feeling when you touch a clean cable and a dirty one. Making music doesn't have to be disgusting, right? Second, if you carry your bass with you somewhere, take your cable with you. Even if they tell you that you will get everything in the place where you go, just take it with you. In most cases, you will have to use it. And number 3, have a spare cable, especially for gigs. Even if you are 100% sure that your cable is working nicely, you might need the second one. You know, if your cable is just accidentally broken, you're protected. But most often the spare cable will be needed for someone else, for your guitar player, for the keyboard player, or even for the sound engineer sometimes who set up the stage. So those are some of the most common mistakes that bass players and guitar players make when it comes to using their cables, and now you know how to make it all better. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more bass tips, and if you have any cable care tips of your own, make sure you share them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.